Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Ohio.
Independence Day and baseball, well, they go hand in hand, as the White Sox and the Reds on this 4th of July will play the rubber game of a 3-game set, and all the action is coming up here on Fox Sports Ohio. Hi again, everyone, with Chris Welsh, Jim Day. Hope you're having a happy and safe 4th of July holiday. Last night, the White Sox got to the Reds, but man, when it heats up, summertime here at Great American Ballpark, you know the ball is going to be flying.
And both of these teams have guys that can swing the bat and hit the ball out of the ballpark. No mistake about that. We've seen Scooter Gennett do it time after time. Same for Eugenio Suarez.
And it was the White Sox, though, who turned the trick on the Reds. 7 home runs hit in the game last night. 3 by the Reds, 4 by the White Sox, as this game went to 12 innings. And unfortunately, it was the White Sox who scored 4 unearned runs in the 12th to gain a Game 2 victory. The Reds will turn their attention to tonight, and Sal Romano will go to the hill.
Keeping the ball in the ballpark got to be one of his goals tonight, obviously. But the thing that you have to like about Romano, that earned run average is coming down a little bit at a time. But he's been able to throw this fastball in the inner part of the plate to left-handed hitters, and that is very important. Take some of their power away. He's going to have good control, because these White Sox, you know, their pitching may be a little bit challenged, but I can tell you, they can swing the bat a little bit.
Check out our Elk and Elk storylines. Romano in interleague play, just 3 starts, but you know this game is mental and about confidence, and that should give you some confidence.
It really should, especially playing against an American League team in a National League city where there's no DH.
Stay with us, warming you up for the Sox and the Redlegs here on Independence Day 2018, and we'll celebrate America next, the Star Spangled Banner.
Banking and investments tailored for the military community. Beautiful day here at Great American Ballpark, and this is earlier this afternoon. 50 recruits, men and women, getting sworn into the United States Army. That is a very special day for these recruits, for them and their families, as they were sworn in on the field as they get ready to head to basic training. What a sight that was to see them down on the field. And now it's time for our national anthem this Independence Day. And for that, here's Army retired Technical Sergeant Felita LaRock.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
What a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Baseball is next. The Reds and the White Sox. First pitch is coming up.
Ohio is brought to you by Chevy. Check out their award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili, feeling good. It's Skyline time.
Well, this Independence Day has brought some of the hottest temperatures of the summer to the Cincinnati area, and it's going to continue to be a scorcher at the ballpark tonight. First pitch near 91, a heat index in the low 100s, and will slowly fall down to around 84 by the final out tonight under partly cloudy skies. Enjoy the game here on Fox Sports Ohio.
Hot, sticky night, and Sal Romano, per usual, he goes through a few jerseys when he makes starts. Maybe about 3 or 4 of them tonight if he goes deep into this game, which is obviously the plan going in. It's the rubber game of a 3-game set. White Sox and the Reds as the Reds play their final home game before the All-Star break. And here's the lineup that Romano will face tonight. Yohan Moncada will lead off again. Yolmer Sanchez batting second. Jose Abreu back in the starting lineup tonight. Javi Garcia in the cleanup spot. Daniel Palka, who had himself a night with Garcia last night. Kevin Smith back behind the plate. Tim Anderson is short. The Cincinnati product, Adam Engel in center field. And on the mound batting night, Dylan Covey. And for Sal Romano, last time out, it was only 5 innings, but it was one of those in which he had to battle against the Brewers.
Well, he did. He did very well against just about every Brewer on that team whose name was not Keon Broxton. Broxton drove in both runs in that game for the Brewers with a single and a solo home run. Other than that, Romano was pretty good, but he really battled in and out of trouble. He had runners on base. He's a guy really that I think that you start beginning to raise the bar of expectation just a little bit more every time he comes out there. I know that Jim Riggleman and he had a talk after that ball game. Hopefully that'll motivate him to be a little more pitch efficient so he can hang around a little bit longer.
Into the windup and pitch number 1 on this Independence Day 2018. 94-degree game time temperature. Not telling anyone anything they don't know out there. I hope you've enjoyed your July 4th festivities. And if you had some daytime activities, you know you dealt with the heat today. So glad that you chose to join part of your holiday with us here on Fox Sports Ohio. 1-1 pitch and a swing and a miss. Moncada's had himself a series. 455 average in this series, 5 for 11, 4 RBIs. He's scored 2 runs, a couple of doubles, and a stolen base. A boatload of positive stats from Moncada, but he goes down swinging. Tucker Barnhart doing the catching tonight will step out number 1 here in the first. Here's your forward defensive lineup for the Reds. Billy Hamilton, the odd man out of the outfield tonight. Duvall, Shebler in center field. Jesse Winker in right. The infield per normal. Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette Votto, Barnhart back behind the plate, hanging the signs for Sal Romano. The strikeout of Moncada. Romano will go to work against Yolmer Sanchez. Sanchez, a 257 batter, 5 home runs and 38 RBIs on the season. He was part of that 12th inning last night in which the White Sox scored 4 unearned runs. As the Reds committed a couple of errors in the 12th, 4 overall in last night's game. And Sanchez had himself an RBI triple in that 12th. Right behind Yohan Moncada's 3 RBI triple. And last night was a rarity for the Reds. It was the first loss when leading after 8 innings this season. They were 33-0 previously. And on the flip side of that, the White Sox were 0-52 when trailing after 8 innings. You know all about those baseball law of averages. And I don't know if those stats will ever even out, but they certainly swayed the other way last night. Serve the other way. An easy play for Duvall, 2 outs.
One good thing we're seeing right now out of Romano, he's throwing strikes with a couple of different pitches. His fastball he's able to control, but the breaking ball right there, I think the last pitch was a curveball that he threw. I maybe call it a slider. It was in the high 80s. He calls his curve a slider sometimes, but he got a little weak swing and a weak fly ball.
Jose Abreu pinch hit here last night. He fouled a ball off of his ankle in game number 1 of this series. Had to leave that game. Did not start yesterday. Back in the starting lineup today. Strike called by Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, calling balls and strikes behind the plate tonight. Sean Barber, umpire at first. Stu Sherwater at second base. Eric Cooper at third. Counts 1-2 to Abreu. Last 21 interleague games. Good numbers. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Romano. 3 up and 3 down. Reds coming up.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Reds winners of 15 of their last 21 games, and here's how they'll run them out tonight. Scott Schebler back in the leadoff spot, Barnhart batting second, Votto, Jeanette, Suarez in the middle, Winker in right field, Duvall in left, Peraza down to the 8 spot tonight, and the pitcher spot is the 9 spot tonight with no Billy Hamilton in the lineup, and they will go to work against 26-year-old righty Dylan Covey.
He makes start number 10, Covey does. He's a guy that the White Sox picked up in a Rule 5 draft. We'll tell you all about Covey as the game goes on. Basically, he's more of a contact pitcher than anything else. Gets a lot of ground balls. He gets ground balls from that fastball that he throws up there, keeps it normally down around the knees, and uses a split finger fastball as his changeup.
First career appearance against the Reds for Covey. California guy, born in Glendale, California, resides in Pasadena.
Well, you know, no better place to get a scouting report on a pitcher than from his pitching coach. So let's go to his pitching coach, Don Cooper, to get the scoop on Covey.
Came back this year. We dropped him off the roster. He got ticked off, I guess. Motivated. He went to AAA, threw the ball good in AAA, came up with us, and he's been good. He's had some really outstanding stuff. He's a guy that, like we were talking about before, we're looking for contact with the first 3 pitches. He's a sinker guy who's got a sinker, slider, changeup, as well as a curveball. And if I had to put him in order, it would be sinker first, slider second, changeup third, curveball fourth.
The scoop from Coop.
He could have his own show with that, couldn't he?
He could.
You see what Kobe does every time he puts that split finger fastball grip. That's his changeup grip on the baseball. It's the toughest one to get a feel for. So you do it ahead of time, then it's easy to go to any other pitch from there.
And that is designed to not tip that pitch, correct?
Exactly. Of course, all you got to do is tip it one time and then intentionally tip it the next time, and the hitters will say, wait a minute, I don't even want to know it anymore.
Right. I like your boy Coop, man. He's honest. He said if we sent him down, apparently it ticked him off.
He'll tell you the way it is.
Love it. Counts 2-2 to Schebler. You saw during that soundbite, Schebler sent one the other way and close to a home run. A long foul ball, and the count is 4. Nineteenth time batting leadoff this year, and he's done a nice job in that spot. A .333 batting average in the one spot. One out. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the White Sox. Palka in left, Engel in center, Javi Garcia in right. Sanchez, Anderson, Moncada, Abreu around the infield. Kevin Smith, a battery mate of Dylan Covey. That last play with the shift on was 5-3 if you're scoring at home, and we do hope you are. First pitch swinging is Barnhart. This is the shortstop, Anderson. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Joey Votto, who has struggled in this series and has struggled overall in his last 8 appearances in this series. 0 for 9. Has walked a couple of times, scored a run, struck out 4 times. And you go back his last 8 appearances, 4 for 28. 143 average and just 1 RBI. So Reds have played good baseball in spite of their 3-hitter hitting a skid.
Well, you know, those are the small sample size numbers on Joey Votto, but if you start looking back, like from the All-Star game time of last year till now, his on-base percentage against right-handed pitchers is the best in baseball at .471. I mean, even put that in better perspective, the average major league on-base percentage against right-handed pitchers is .339.
Wow.
Votto is .471, even though he's been struggling, as you said, lately.
Well, overall, he continues to lead the National League in overall on-base percentage, .425. And far and away tops Freddie Freeman, just below 400. And what a season Freeman's had. Arenado's really turned it on.
So it's Joey Votto is the reason why Suarez is where he is atop the leaderboard in RBIs, and the Jeanette's getting a lot of runs batted in.
Down he goes, chasing one down out of the zone, so he's pitcher. A 3-up, 3-down inning.
This 4th of July, we celebrate America. On July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia to adopt the final version of the Declaration of Independence.
And happy Independence Day, everyone. Once again, you can't say it enough. We are so blessed to live in the greatest country on the face of the earth. And on this birthday of America, we hope you are having a great day and have taken the time to at least reflect a little bit on what this day means. Of course, it means cookouts, parades, and fireworks, etc. But the true meaning of Independence Day, obviously, is the birth of America. Here's Avi Garcia to lead off the second. And a slow grounder to Suarez. Got to hurry and gets out number one. And they had a tough time getting Garcia out last night.
And you'll take that every day of the week on the first pitch to Garcia. Probably one of the more dangerous hitters in the league. Still a young guy. He, you know, we mentioned it earlier that his nickname is Mini Miggy, which is after Miguel Cabrera. Of course, we didn't see Cabrera, done for the season with an injury, but one of the best hitters of our generation here. And I'll tell you what, the way that Garcia is getting off right now, he is following right in those footsteps.
Daniel Polka, like Garcia, had a 2-home-run night last night. Garcia was in the 3 spot last night. Polka hit cleanup. And it was the first time in White Sox history that the 3-4 hitters both had multi-home run games, according to stats.
Look at the hack this guy takes. Man. I mean, he must have a chiropractor on call.
You compared it to a guy, a softball player.
I mean, a big, high leg lift. You know, a guy like that has a lot of plate coverage. I think you're better off subtracting and adding than you are trying to pitch in and out or up and down. Of course, he will chase that high fastball a little bit.
Big dude as well. Imposing figure at the plate.
Maybe not more imposing than the guy on the mound, though.
That's true. Third amongst rookies in home runs in the American League. Yeah, you're right about Romano. In fact, how often have you heard when people say, who's pitching tonight? Big Sal Romano's pitching. I want to check his birth certificate. Big might be on it. Sal might be his middle name.
And isn't it funny, really? I mean, you get Romano, who's what, 270 or 280. I don't know how much Paco weighs, but he's a big, strong dude anyway. And they're fighting over a 5-ounce baseball.
That 5-ounce baseball commands a lot of respect and dinero if you can handle it, whether throwing it or hitting it. It's a full count to Polka. Got him chase. Third strikeout and 5 batters faced for Romano.
Now this is beginning the idea of what pitching is all about. Moving the ball around a little bit, getting him to chase up and out of the zone. He's a very aggressive hitter. And the scouting report, you know, both Barnhart and Romano know that. But it's being able to execute that pitch, getting it close enough to tease him with, but not so into the zone that he can hit it.
Suarez sets and fires. 6 up, 6 down. Sal Romano. And online, and it's down to the final stretch run. Make sure the Reds are represented on this year's squad. Vote at Reds.com. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. And Scooter Gennett, the balloting ends tomorrow night, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. You can vote up to 5 times a day at Reds.com. And he's closing the gap on Ozzie Albies in the National League race at second base. And it would be terrific if he could close that gap and earn his first starting nod in the All-Star game. He continues to lead the National League in hitting at 332 and 7th in RBIs at 56. And he and the guy on deck very All-Star worthy. Lifted to center field. Pulling back Engel, and Engel runs it down.
Really interesting swing that Scooter Gennett has put on this ball. He got an inside curveball last night and launched it for a home run down the right field line. But look how high he finishes. This is what players are talking about when they say they're trying to get elevation. Rather than coming right over the top of that and ripping that inside pitch down the right field line, you drop the bat head and you try to get some elevation with it and nearly put it out of the ballpark.
That would have been some type of power to fight that pitch off and send it out of the yard. Just to hit it as deep as he did was impressive.
Well, if you just think about it for a second, a pitch that's in on you that close, unless you bring your hands right in next to your chest and swing, you're never going to get the barrel on it. So if you drop your hands, though, and swing it almost like a golf club up, that's your best shot at getting the barrel on the ball rather than getting jammed in on the thumbs. Not every hitter can do that, but Gennett has worked very hard on hitting the breaking pitch and hitting the inside pitch.
Not every golfer could do it either. Trust me. I'm example A. Suarez riding a 7-game hitting streak. His .305 average 9th in the league. Tied for 7th in home runs and tied for first with 63 RBIs. Check out our StatCast powered by AWS.
Now, when you look at this chart, this maps the last 100 times hitters put a ball in play within 200 feet of home plate.
Yeah.
Most of those are ground balls, or they're going to be little pop-ups. So that's why it's so important for the infield to know what that spray chart looks like. And obviously, you know, there's a little bit of spray over here on the right side, but the majority of the time, Suarez puts it on the ground. It's to the left side.
Count holds at 2-2. Suarez has also done well in interleague play. 12 for 37. That's a .324 batting average. A .419 on base percentage. 8 RBIs. A couple of home runs, 3 doubles. So interleague play has been to his liking. Do the 2-2 yet again. And had him out in front. 2 outs.
Kobe's got a nice little splitter, and there it is. You see the really no spin right there, and it has a tendency to drop because it has no spin, and he's able to kill the speed because you don't really have it on the end of your fingertips, you know, flipping your wrist at the very end. That's a pitch that when you get that thing going, man, it can really be an effective pitch. It can also be a little bit tough on the elbow, too, they say.
2 out batters, Jesse Winker, and he's our subject of our IGS Bringing the Energy. Since June 7th, .328 batting average, 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, and a .458 on base percentage. Takes a strike right on the corner, and Reds are 15-8 during that time span.
Well, Winker's a young hitter. We're still kind of learning him. He's still learning the league. But what I see from Jesse so far is a guy that makes a lot of contact, especially on fastballs, and doesn't chase a lot of pitches out of the zone. It's a good start.
And has an idea at the plate. His .388 on base percentage is 9th in the National League. And we're not talking about amongst rookies overall. Up the middle, but there's that defensive shift coming into play. That is the shortstop going to his right. Make the out on Winker.
Of July, we celebrate America. Hours after the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Centers, 3 New York City firefighters raised the U.S. flag over the rubble.
You know, each team here on July 4th gets to wear, they've worn them actually the last 3 days, these uniforms that are really cool. They have the stars and stripes on it, but some of the other things they wear, these are the sleeves, says the July 4th on there, and the batting gloves. As you can see, the uniforms, these are really cool. But to me, the best thing about them is the batting gloves. These are really, really cool. Here's what Sal Romano had to say about wearing this uniform on the Independence Day.
It's a really good honor. This is the first time since I've been drafted that I've pitched on the 4th of July. So I actually get to wear some Under Armour cleats that are 4th of July. I've never been able to wear, that kind of stuff. I usually just wear them in the dugout when we're playing. So it's definitely an honor to be able to pitch on the 4th of July. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So that's really neat. You see those shoes that they're wearing? That is really cool. The flag, the stars that are inside the numbers in the C there. It's just a special occasion for these guys, and they go all out with the uniforms and the accessories, gentlemen.
No doubt about it, and Tucker Barnhart still looking like Captain America back there behind home plate. Check out his shoes. Fireworks.
Well, those baby size 16s, is that what Big Sal wears?
Yes.
16s.
He had 16. I believe he was in high school, and he had like a freshman, and he was still wearing like a 15 shoe and grew to a 16. He says he has to do special shopping for his shoes because you can't just go into a store and have the 16s on the rack. In fact, even online shopping, a lot of times, tough to find the old 1/6s. 1-2 pitch to Tim Anderson. Suarez, no play. Infield base hit, the first hit of this game. Reds made a trade today. Dylan Floro was traded to the Dodgers along with Zach Neal and some international signing bonus pool space. Neal was a 29-year-old pitcher at AAA. And they acquired 2 minor league pitchers. James Marinan is a 19-year-old who was a 4th-round pick of the Dodgers, listed as their 21st best prospect. And they got another right-hander as well. And Marinan is a guy that the Reds had high on their draft board and is a kid that has had good numbers at rookie ball. Throws a fastball upwards of 97 miles per hour, and the other pitcher that the Reds got in the deal is throwing 101 miles per hour in the minor leagues this year. So Floro was basically invited to spring camp as a non-roster invitee. And again, the Reds trying a deal where they buy low and sell high. Floro has been terrific for this club, but Reds trying to come out of rebuild mode and still trying to stock their young system. And other moves as well today. Brandon Dixon was optioned to AAA Louisville, and the Reds need some arms after a 12-inning game last night. And with Floro being traded, Tanner Rainey recalled along with lefty Cody Reed. Both are in the bullpen. So the Reds, with optioning Dixon, are dealing with a 3-man bench tonight. But Michael Lorenzen pitched last night, and he is certainly available as a hitter tonight.
I mean, just think about that for a minute, how much baseball has changed to the point where relievers now in baseball are covering about 40% of the innings that are played in a major league game. So it used to be that pitching staffs, the entire pitching staff would have 9 pitchers on the staff, 5 starters and 4 relievers. The Reds have 9 relievers.
Yeah.
And of course they still have 5 starters. So that's why your bench is so short.
Covey tried the Butcher Boy first pitch, fouls this one off. Yeah, I was floored by that stat of about 39% so far that relievers have made up of innings pitched so far this year, which is the most in the live ball era.
And that's just a beginning of a trend. You're going to see more and more of that. Pretty soon it'll be 50%, and who knows where it'll be from there.
Anderson takes his lead from first, and Covey will show bunt again. Pulls it back and blocked by Barnhart.
You know, we were discussing that at dinner. I thought you made a great point, Jim, that, you know, maybe that would favor the fact that relievers are becoming more and more important, would favor small market ball clubs, because on every big payroll, you know, it's established major league starters that are costing you all the money.
And
so
a smaller market team, you can much more afford a bullpen than you can frontline starting pitchers. Who knows? We'll see. If I were a GM, and I will never ever be, but I might even start with the bullpen if I'm a smaller market team. I'm going to make sure I'm loaded for bear in the bullpen.
I think a lot of teams have that attitude right now anyway, and it's no secret they've been trying to do that. Everybody wants to have a shutdown bullpen, but it's a lot easier to find one pitcher who can pitch 1 inning rather than one pitcher who can pitch 7. Those guys are rarer and rarer.
There goes Anderson. And not in time. Anderson can steal himself a base. In fact, that is stolen base number 19 of the season.
Well, it turned out to be a brilliant call by the White Sox, because really I would say that the chances of that happening again would be very slim. You think that at least Covey would foul the ball off. Anderson would have to go back on the foul ball strikeout, but a bunt and a miss and a stolen base.
2 outs in the inning, and back to the top of the order, Yohan Moncada. Moncada, we talked about the home runs hit last night. 2 of them by Polka, 2 of them by Garcia, but really the biggest blow of the game came in the 12th, and that was a bases clearing triple by this guy.
And that pitch was about 4 inches inside. How he kept it fair, I think they're still wondering about that back in the Reds dugout. That's where Romano likes to throw that fastball in the inner part of the plate.
Sal ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, 1-2. 2-2. Full count.
I got to throw him a fastball or throw him a strike at least right here. His chances of him swinging and missing are very good. He is among the major league leaders in swing and miss strikeouts is Moncada.
Payoff pitch. Hit well. Right center field. And watching it fly is Schebler. White Sox have gone yard again. And a 2-0 lead.
Now the breaking ball has been good so far in the night for Sal Romano until he hangs one right there. He really didn't have to do a whole lot except put a decent swing on it because it was just spinning right there about thigh high. Well, that's the kind of pitch a hitter dreams about seeing. He knows it when he hits it.
Home run number 11 for Moncada. 40 RBIs now. And here's Yomer Sanchez.
I think these White Sox like hitting in this ballpark.
I would say so.
You think? Especially when it's up above 90 degrees and ball seems to carry a little bit better.
6th home run of the series. Hit by the Sox. Count will hold it 2-2 to Sanchez. Play by Votto, and Romano on the receiving end. The damage done. 2-run home run. Moncada, and the White Sox strike first.
celebrate America. In 1976, when two protesters rushed the field at Dodger Stadium to set an American flag on fire, outfielder and Marine Corps Reserve officer Rick Monday rescued Old Glory at the last second.
Rick Monday played 19 years in the big leagues, and he was a member of the Chicago Cubs when that happened. And then a year later, he became a Dodger and famously played for the World Championship team in a Dodger uniform. But I would say Rick Monday is most famous for what you just saw, saving the flag. When people think of Rick Monday, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Unless, of course, you have a transistor radio or an AM radio and you live in the Los Angeles Dodger area, because he's been a Dodgers radio announcer for a long, long time, probably 25 years.
I wish I could borrow his pipes. He's got a good set.
Yes, he does.
Duvall, Peraza, Romano here in the third against Dylan Covey. Two balls and two strikes. Out number one here in the third.
Kind of an interesting story, really, about Dylan Covey. He was a young high school pitcher raised in Pasadena, California, had a tremendous arm. He was throwing very hard. He was a big kid, and he was projected to be a very high #1 pick, which he was. And he was picked #1 in the 2010 draft by the Milwaukee Brewers. And then during their pre-signing physical that they gave every player that they drafted, they discovered that he had type 1 diabetes. So he decided, I don't know whether they rescinded their offer or what happened, but he ended up deciding to go to school instead, went to college, and then came back a couple of years later and was drafted in the 4th round. But when that 2010 round was drafted, that was an interesting year because Yasmani Grandal was drafted by the Reds 12th that year in the 1st round. And then Chris Sale came 13th, and then Dylan Covey was 14th, all by the Milwaukee Brewers. So here he is after having been originally drafted by Milwaukee. Now he's here with the White Sox.
And that last at bat was two guys dealing with diabetes. Duvall as well. Both have type 1 diabetes and both go through the daily fight against it. And you better believe that it is. And insulin pump is in the back pocket of Duvall each and every game. And you can pretty much see the outline of Covey as well.
Yeah,
in his back pocket. Full count to Jose Peraza.
He was happy he wasn't rung up on that pitch. He was rung up on a couple of pitches last night. Peraza was clearly up and out of the zone.
Engel gloves it, out number 2. Swinging to summer this Friday afternoon as the Reds take on the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. It'll be the first trip for the Reds to Chicago this season. Can't believe it's July and they've yet to go to Wrigley. Tyler Mahle versus Mike Montgomery. Reds live at 1:30. Game coverage to follow at 2. See it, of course, here on Fox Sports Ohio. Stream it on Fox Sports Go. Swing into Summer is presented by Click It or Ticket.
That has a chance to be an excellent series to watch. And the Cubs are not happy, obviously, with the Reds having been swept here. It'll be Tyler Mahle, Matt Harvey, and Luis Castillo in 3 games for the Reds. Mike Montgomery, Tyler Chatwood, and John Lester pitch for the Cubs. Day games.
3-day games, which, if you know anything about one of our broadcast brethren, and he often works in the TV booth as well, it might be the end of Jeff Brantley as we know it. Not a fan of the day games, but it's a big old hang with them. 3 straight regular. Weather's supposed to be fantastic there. I looked at the forecast. We're talking about low 70s each day and sunny. We'll take that in July.
That place will be rocking and rolling.
You can book it. And Cubs are expecting Chris Bryant to come off the disabled list as well. And he has been a Reds killer. And you better believe the Cubs are going to be loaded for bear to want a little payback as the Reds swept the Cubs in 4 recently here at Great American Ballpark. So should be a lot of fun. Romano works a full count and dribbles one to the first baseman. Kobe's gone 1 time through the lineup against the Reds and has not surrendered a hit.
For heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Baseball's 2 biggest events of the summer are back-to-back. The action begins at the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN July 16th at 8 Eastern. Then catch baseball's biggest stars at the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th on the Big Fox. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern. We have played 3, and a 2-run home run by Yoan Moncada, the difference in this one. Sal Romano will try to put up a goose egg here in the 4th, and he will get 3, 4, and 5. The meat of the order: Abreu, Garcia, Palka. Abreu struck out swinging his first time up. Out number one. Third ground ball hit Suarez's way in this one. Now time for a quick message from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky.
Romano was able to get Avi Garcia out in inning number 2. There's a ground out to the aforementioned Suarez. Garcia steps in with a 13-game hitting streak, a career high for him. 5 for 10 in the series, 3 home runs. Schebler out number 2. Squared it up nicely, but Schebler had a beat on it the whole way, and here's Daniel Polka. Polka struck out swinging his first time up. Reds will shift around to Polka's pull side. And Suarez way off the line at third. So the Reds' 4-series unbeaten streak on the line here. Swept the Cubs in 4, took 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. Split with the Brewers. Polka, forget about it. Way up into the moon deck. Had 2 of them last night. Adds another one here tonight. A big boy shot.
Sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail. Polka struck out the first time up, chased a high fastball up and away from him. In this count, though, Romano got behind. A 3-1 pitch, and you got to come in there with something that's not going to put him on base with a walk, and Polka levels on this.
Whew.
That ball's way up here. I mean, up this way.
Those folks were not expecting a ball to come flying their way. Usually you're safe up there.
I mean, that's the kind of swing. I mean, with the big high leg kick and big strong guy like that, you know, you're more likely to see like a down around Schmidt Fields, you know, where they're probably playing softball all day long today on 4th of July. A masher. Ooh.
Well, let's check out the numbers. 432 feet worth.
Now, those are the StatCast numbers. What do you think the Don Cooper numbers would be? I'll tell you the numbers. 3-1 down the middle is the number right there. Coop. He had a great line in Tech Talk where he says, if you're only throwing half your fastballs over for strikes, I can get a beer vendor to do that. Telling it like it is.
Hey, I love it. It's refreshing. Full count to Kevin Smith. Up the middle and a base hit. Fourth hit of the night off of Romano. And a straight up infield defense there. So an old fashioned base hit up the middle with no one there. And here's Tim Anderson. Infield hit his first time up, stole second, scored on Moncada's home run. The Reds will try to play catch up here today. They've trailed in 7 of their last 10 victories. Suarez has been busy. Makes it look easy. Man left, but another run scored. 3-0 Sox.
Traditions are a big thing, and while Tucker Barnhart might be playing baseball inside today, after retirement he'd like to be out there on a boat.
You see all your friends and everything out on lakes, out on boats and stuff, so you long for those days to come eventually one of these days. So if I had to put my finger on one, it would be getting out on the lake, getting on a boat, probably for sure.
Fireworks, barbecuing for sure. You know, I love to eat, so hopefully we got some good barbecue here because you know, obviously we got a game, so but I'm looking forward to the fireworks.
Hope you've enjoyed whatever traditions you have out there on the 4th of July. And once again, happy Independence Day. Reds hope it's a happy one at the end of this game, and they'll try to climb out of a 3-0 hole as they've got the top of the order here against Dylan Covey. Schebler, Barnhart, Votto. Schebler grounded out his first time up. Season average sitting at 280, but last 27 games, good numbers, particularly the average.
Well, right now, Covey seems to have it going on. The Reds, I'm trying to think if there's been a hard hit ball yet tonight. Been a couple of fly balls, maybe Scooter Jeanette's that sent the center fielder just about all the way to the wall. But other than that, Covey's kind of had his way. That little split finger that he's gripping right now, along with a combination breaking ball and well-placed fastball, getting the job done. Here comes the sinker. Not up there.
Well, it's kind of which Covey's going to show up. His last 3 starts, a 12.71 ERA. And his previous 5 starts, 3-0 record, a 1.53 ERA. He's been hit or miss.
Well, he gave up 9 runs, 8 of those earned in his last time out. That was at Texas, where they end up losing that game 11-3. That's the kind of line that'll singe your earned run average for about a month or so at least.
Yep. Got
that baby up to 482 coming into this game.
What was the conversation with Coop after that one, you think?
Well, they're just trying to get him to be a pitcher.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it just happens to you. Got the kind of the Don Zimmer look. Don't
He
you
does.
think?
You know what?
A little
I think you just stole the thought out of my brain. Like Don Zimmer sitting down there. Schebler draws a walk as the first base runner for the Reds against Covey. The Reds home run hits the Toyota sign during tonight's game. Andy Melman from Cincy is going to win the beautiful new Tundra on display at Great American Ballpark thanks to your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. And here's Barnhart.
Well, you know, the White Sox have a lot of Cincinnati connections. You know, we talked about Adam Engel at length with his fan club here, you know, just about every night sitting up there in left field bleachers near him where he plays center field. First base coach is Darryl Boston. Of course, we've got Buddy Bell on the staff with the Reds now, but for the longest time, Buddy Bell was the director of minor league player personnel for the White Sox. I mean, for a long, long time, and he saw many of these young men come up through the minor leagues, had a lot to do with their development. We've got Nate Jones, who is with the ball club right now, but he's on the disabled list. He's a pitcher who went to high school down in Pendleton County and did his college work at Northern Kentucky University.
Polka, nope, will give way to Engel, 1 out. And here comes Votto. We talked about Covey dealing with type 1 diabetes. If you ask him, he says he's lucky to be on this earth and it has nothing to do with diabetes. His mother, Angela, and Dylan's dad, Daryl, decided to stop having children after Nathan was born. other side. She underwent surgery, but years later changed her mind and had the procedure reversed. More years passed before she became pregnant with Dylan, whom Mom describes as her miracle guy. He's thankful to be alive. Votto can get going here. Staring down a 1-1 pitch, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, he struck out the first time on a 2-2 count where Kobe dropped that little splitter on him and chased the ball down and out of the zone. Not very often he does that. What Votto does as well as anybody is just work the count.
Works a 3-1 count here.
Well, good spot for a line drive right here. Believe it or not, the Reds have the highest line drive rate in Major League Baseball at 26%. This offense has been getting it done.
And there's a line drive, and that will fall. Right on cue.
Now, Votto will take what you give him, especially as you get deeper into the count right here. And he's deciding right there, they're going to pitch me away, get the ball up. A little bit on the end of the bat, but flips it right in there for a base hit.
First and second, one out, and Scooter Gennett at the plate.
Hey, for a guy that gets a lot of ground balls, Kobe throws a lot of fastballs up and out of the zone. I don't know whether he's trying to tease those hitters up there or whether he's just getting rid of the ball a little bit too soon.
One-0 to Scooter. Check swing. And he went, says Gary Cederstrom. Last night it was a big first inning for the Reds. Raza on third base, and Gennett, home run number 14, a two-run shot. In fact, the Reds hit two-run home runs in the first. They had a 4-0 lead. They had a 7-2 lead. But credit the White Sox for out-slugging the Reds last night. Winners 12-8 in 12 innings. One-two. Just missed. And the count evens at 2-2.
Scooter's kind of an old school guy, isn't he? I mean, if you watch his home run celebration, there's not a whole lot to it.
Nope.
Give me a handshake, maybe a little special handshake here and there, but no dancing, no choreographed celebrations.
Fouls another off.
No Ocho Cinco.
Trying to become the first Reds batter to lead the National League in batting average since Peter Edward Rose back in 1973. He'd hit .338 in 73. Gennett sitting at .331. Can you imagine Scooter winning the batting title? Being designated for assignment last year? That'd be quite the story. Past the right fielder, and this is going to score a run. Reds on the board as Jeanette delivers the RBI hit, and it's 3-1.
Now he's hit the 2 hardest balls in his game so far. One fly ball caught at the fence. This one ripped into the gap in right center field. A lot of times these balls are going to curve a little bit. That ball never did. It stayed straight on a line. And Avi Garcia, who's made some tremendous defensive plays the first couple of nights, unable to corral that one.
RBI number 57 for Jeanette. And here comes Coop. Jeanette delivers with the hit. We talked about trying to become the first Red since Pete Rose lead the league in hitting. He's also trying to become the first second baseman to lead the Reds in hits, runs, and home runs since Bid McPhee, your former teammate back in 1886.
Remember Bid well.
The Hall of Famer, Cooperstown Hall of Famer Bid McPhee. Business at hand here is first and second, 1 out, and Suarez at the plate. Line drive, base hit. They're going to hold Votto at third. 3 straight hits off of Covey. And the Reds have business of brewing here in the 4th.
First pitch hitting is what Suarez is doing right here. Getting a fastball, thinking Covey wants to get one down, get a ground ball, maybe help him get out of this inning. And he got it up a little bit too much, and Suarez went right down there with a very nice swing.
3 ducks on the pond for Jesse Winker. Look at the numbers with the bases loaded. Up the middle, base hit. This will score Votto. They're going to wave around Jeanette to the plate. Throw not in time, and we're tied at 3.
That ball is hit extremely hard because look where the shortstop, Tim Anderson, was playing. He was playing a couple of steps from the bag, and that ball only went maybe 6 to 8 feet on the second base side of the second base bag. Drives in a couple.
4th straight hit off of Covey, and the Reds still with something brewing here. First and second, and still only 1 out. Check swing and got a piece of the hand. Up, hit him. Hit him flush and not the bat. At least Gary Cederstrom says so. And here comes Rick Renteria.
Well, kind of a delayed call right there. And, you know, when you get a reaction like this, I mean, it's so instantaneous. And an umpire is going to wait. And Cederstrom has been around a long time. He's a good umpire. And he'll give Renteria a chance to talk to him a little bit.
Renteria back to the dugout, and here comes Jose Peraza. Bases loaded again here for the Reds.
Boy, the way that Dylan Covey was cruising along, it kind of reminds me a little bit of what happened with Anthony DeSclafani last night.
Yep.
Cruised along through the first three, gave up a couple of runs in the fourth, and then the roof fell in the sixth inning.
No one throwing right now in the White Sox bullpen. 4 straight hits and a hit batsman. 1 out, and we'll see how aggressive Peraza here is in the 8th spot with the pitcher Sal Romano on deck. And a base hit up the middle. The Reds are going to take the lead. Throw to the plate. Winker is in there. Throw off line, and the Reds have scored 5 here in the 4th.
Well, a solid line drive right there by Peraza. Boy, look how still he keeps his head throughout that swing. Done a remarkable job this year, Peraza has. And the Reds have awakened.
Awakened with a vengeance. 5th hit of the inning.
You know, somebody on Twitter the other day asked me, Jim Day, to explain what I mean when I say a pitcher gets ratty-tacked. Well, if you're watching this inning, Dylan Covey has been ratty-tacked.
Ratty-tacked. Nice. 2 balls and no strikes to the pitcher, Romano. So credit Peraza as a meeting on the mound here, the entire infield. Credit Peraza with a single and goes to second base on the throw. And 2 RBIs. He now has 29 on the season.
Now they're trying to buy as much time as they can to get that bullpen going. I mean, this has happened so quick. There have been so many early count hits in this inning. But they haven't had a chance to get anybody loose yet.
Luis Avilan is up and throwing left-hander with lefty Schebler on deck, switch hitting Barnhart and lefty Votto to follow. And then Jeanette, the lefty, should be good there. Barnhart gets it down, a suicide squeeze to perfection. Romano, excuse me. What an inning, 6 runs and the pitcher helping himself. And here comes Rick Renteria. Sal's going to give me all kinds of grief after that one.
Does a nice job right there. I mean, the whole thing, if you're a pitcher and you've been called upon to put down a suicide squeeze, don't panic. Got to wait for the ball to get there. Fortunately for Romano, it was a very buntable ball. He gets it down, gets an RBI. His team has scored 6. Happy time.
It's our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. FS1. First, Pogba and teen sensation Mbappe lead France against Uruguay. Then Neymar and Brazil battle Belgium. A World Cup quarterfinal starting at 9 a.m. Eastern on FS1, where you can stream all the action live on the Fox Sports app. 10th Reds batter will go to the plate here in the fourth, and they will face a new pitcher, lefty Luis Avilan.
He's been really good recently against left-handed hitters.
Schebler got the inning started with a walk and came around and scored on Scooter Jeanette's RBI single.
Reds have a couple of hitters with a split that favors lefty on lefties, and Schebler's one of them. Scooter Jeanette is the other.
0-2 pitch in on the hands of Schebler, but a big inning for the Reds. 6 runs. Number 2 in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. And by your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. Gorgeous shot. Roebling Suspension Bridge, downtown Cincinnati. Great American Ballpark in the background, and now we bring you inside. Let's put 6 on the board in the fourth and lead this one 6-3. So we'll see what Sal Romano will do now that the team has given him a 3-run cushion. First pitch swinging is the Loveland, Ohio product, Adam Engel. Engel, the Cincinnati product. And I'm glad you mentioned Darrell Boston, the first base coach for the White Sox. The pride of Woodward High School in Cincinnati. 11-year big league career. Still an imposing figure down there. Former White Sox, Met, finished his career in Colorado and New York Yankee in 1994. Hard hit ball up the bat of Engel, and he has his first hit of the night.
A couple of natty guys right down there at first base,
Yep.
Boston and Engel. Boston was the #1 draft pick. He was drafted in 1981, same year that guys like Joe Carter, Ron Darling,
wow,
Steve Lyons, all taken in the first round that year.
Psycho. Here's the pitcher, Luis Avilon, and he's already showing bunt and waves at it and comes up empty. Empty again. And that was an easy strikeout. And Avilon didn't come close to getting it in play.
He's a lot better at throwing it than he is bunting it.
That was only his 9th career plate appearance. And back to the top of the order, Yohan Moncada. And careful with this guy. Home run last time up. Engel has 10 steals in 12 attempts. This White Sox team will run. They are very aggressive on the base pass. And a pretty big lead for Engel over there. And he fakes going this time. Throw down to first, not in time.
Reds try that a lot as a way to try to shorten up the lead a little bit, at least a secondary lead. One of the better guys behind the plate for doing that is Tucker Barnhart. They call it a back pick.
Lefty and a righty warming up in the Reds pen. Garrett and Tanner Rainey was just recalled from AAA today. As Romano just delivered pitch number 80 of his night.
Like it's not hot enough down in that bullpen with those two guys warming up. You probably boil water just by putting it in between them. Rainey throws about 100, and Garrett was throwing 98 last night.
Yep. Barnhart sets up on the inside part of the plate, and Moncada fouls it back.
Got a strikeout list of the players that go down swinging the most. Stanton, you'd figure he would be on that. Joey Gallo, also a home run hitter. Lewis Brinson's got a big, long swing, and there's Moncada.
Ball gets away from Barnhart, and that is just bad luck.
Well, he's going to be called out because first base was occupied. Engel was not running on the pitch. So he was technically at first base. So if there's a runner at first base, less than 2 outs and a drop third strike, the batter is out.
Strikeout, wild pitch. Barnhart was upset with himself allowing Engel to go to second base on that wild pitch. 6 strikeouts though now for Romano.
Yeah, no walks.
Yeah. Counts 1-1 to Yolmer Sanchez. Romano not known as a strikeout guy. He has one off his career high of strikeouts. Came against the Mets earlier this year. Two balls and 2 strikes. Full count.
You want to come after him right here. You certainly don't want to put the tying run on or coming up to the plate with Abreu, the number 3 hitter, if you lose Sanchez right here.
If you lose Sanchez, the way Riggleman has handled the pin, he might come get Romano after this.
At the very least, you make him put the ball in play. And that was a good pitch by Romano right there on a 3-2 count. Make a good pitch like that, and the pitcher really wants you to put that ball into play fair rather than foul it off and make it come back and do it again.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And it is put in play, and it's belted to left center field past Duvall. And scoring is Engel, and it's 6-4.
They're deliberating in that Reds dugout right now. Danny Darwin chiming in. Pat Kelly, the bench coach, next to Riggleman, and Riggs is on the top step of the dugout. Looks like it's going to be Darling after this ball finds the gap in left center field. That was a pretty good at bat by Sanchez. I mean, he fouled off a really good pitch on a 3-2 count, and you come in there and you elevate it a little bit. He hits the ball the other way. It's a gapper, drives a run in, but you know, fortunately for Romano tonight, his ball club has scored 6 runs for him. But I would imagine that Jose Abreu will be his last batter if he fails to retire him. So here's a chance to pick up a W here, Sal, if you can retire this last batter. And the Reds, of course, hold the lead.
He has struck out Abreu. He has induced a ground out to third.
Struck him out on a curveball in the first inning. Abreu was a 1-pitch out on kind of an awkward swing. I thought it was a fastball in the 4th.
First pitch strike. Abreu's been good with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. 476 batter. It's 10 for 21. 12 RBIs and 6 extra base hits. And those pants are...
And they've already eaten his shoes.
I was going to say, are there shoes under there? Apparently there are spikes indeed.
I don't know if...
He puts his spikes right through the pants. Yep.
I don't know if the uniformed police are out, but about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, they used to fine the players for doing that. Now I think it's probably not worth following up on.
There's a lot of players that will do that with their pants, but that was really an extreme version of Abreu. Two-one pitch.
Well, what the players are doing now, of course, keeping with the high style, I'm sure you have some suits like this that, you know, they're wearing their baseball pants down below their shoes, the heels of their shoes, but their dress pants are up around their shins.
The fashion today, some of these guys are wearing.
You look good in some of those medium suits.
No, I don't look good in a medium or a medium. Or a large or extra large for that matter. I don't really have a good look. Count will hold it 2-2. And then you have LeBron James just going total shorts with the suit. Yeah. Angus Young action. Romano trying to get through 5. Up the middle. Jeanette. And indeed, Romano pitches out of trouble, but he does give up one in the 5th. That's with the 6-4 lead.
You've been reading about a bad Greg. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
This day in baseball brought to you by Geico. Back in 1939, Lou Gehrig made his famous retirement speech at Yankee Stadium, one of the iconic moments, not only in baseball, but all of sports. And it was just an unbelievable scene at Yankee Stadium back in 1939, the end of a unbelievable career for the Iron Man, Lou Gehrig. July 4th, 1939. 39.
And really one of the most iconic speeches in American history. When you consider how big baseball was back then, teammate of Babe Ruth. As we welcome you back into Great American Ballpark on this 4th of July. Reds have a 2-run lead. It's 2, 3, and 4 here in the 5th for the Reds. Barnhart, Votto, Jeanette against Luis Avilan. As the Reds sent 10 men to the plate in the 4th and scored all 6 of their runs. Final line on Dylan Covey tonight, and he was cruising until 1 out in the 4th. And the wheels fell off. 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs. They were all earned. A walk and 2 strikeouts. That one nearly hit Barnhart.
Well, it all started with a leadoff walk, right?
Yep. To Schebler.
Little pigeon-toed start to the beginning of the set position. Avilan is one of those guys that pitches basically out of the stretch, whether he's got a runner on base or whether it's a full windup. But he's got a very unusual way to start, where he points his right foot, his stride foot, basically back towards the second baseman, touches his toes together.
Strike 3 call to Barnhart. Senior citizen fans, thanks to St. Elizabeth Healthcare Orthopedics, you can see your Reds take on the Cardinals Wednesday, July 25th at half price. I said half price. She'll get same-day admission to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. Some restrictions do apply. Votto singled his last time up and scored. Paints the inside corner, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. One, two. Pulled the string. Second time Votto has struck out tonight.
Yeah, Avilan is one of the better left-handed pitchers against left-handed hitters in all of baseball. Back over the last 30 days, lefties are hitting .059. That is a 1 for 17. Now make it 1 for 18 with the strikeout of Votto.
And now will face lefty Jeanette. Avilan has faced 3 batters, struck them all out.
Well, that's what their relief pitcher did last night in the 11th and 12th inning. Hector Santiago came in and faced 7 batters and struck out 6 of them.
Yep.
To end the ball game.
Played 12, but White Sox struck out 15 last night. 6 of them, as you said, by Santiago.
Then a night or two before that, the Reds pitching struck out 18 Milwaukee Brewers.
Yep, new club record in a 9-inning game. And last night's game, one of those games that, one of the few that come along, which was beyond winnable. In fact, you could say they gave the game away. Credit the White Sox. You know, they came up with some big hits and some home runs, obviously, with 4, but the Reds committed 4 errors along the way, including 2 in the 12th, and all 4 runs scored by the White Sox in the 12th were unearned.
Well, that was a breaking ball so slow, even Scooter couldn't hit it. 69 miles an hour. Just Avalon just kind of flipped it right on up there, like a batting practice pitch. Now they'll try to speed him up with the fastball. Yep. Slider.
Bounces it up there, and the count is full. Payoff pitch to Scooter. 1-2-3 inning for Avalon in the 5th. 2-run lead for the Reds.
Cincinnati strongman Sean McCarthy, who is going to try to set the world record for the keg toss after today's game. Sean, tell us how this whole thing's going to go down.
This whole thing's going to go down after the game, before the fireworks. The world record is 23 feet, 5 or so inches. I'm going to go for 24 feet. I'm going to be standing about 20 feet away from first base, throwing it towards second base, up over my head, up over a 24-foot bar.
And tell me about some of the training that went into this.
Every day since Easter, 100 throws a day with this keg. Not full throws, sometimes it was just over the shoulder, but it ended up being 9,300 throws, and today I'm going to make it 9,301 because I'm going to break this record today.
That is quite impressive. Sean, thanks for coming out. Guys, back up to you.
9,300 throws of that keg. That breaks Chris Welsh's record in college after he polishes off a keg.
Well, that was the 12-ounce throws I was doing. Still am.
Wow.
Amir Garrett is throwing about 98 miles an hour recently, really throwing the ball well as Garrett comes in to start off the bottom or the top of the 6th.
Romano goes 5, gives up 4, all earned. Didn't walk a batter, struck out 6. We've seen Sean McCarthy, the Cincinnati strongman, here before, back in 2015, as Garcia delivers a leadoff base hit and cut off nicely. He's coming to second base, and he's in there with a double.
Tell you what, Adam Duvall went a long way. This ball is just blistered. 94 is not fast enough to get by Garcia here, and it's right in the gap, and you got to go all the way over. Look at this guy run. I mean, he is just thinking double right from the get-go. How many left fielders are going to make that play? That's a great effort by Duvall.
6th double of the season, and now he extends his career high hitting streak to 14 games. Does Garcia. Polka takes a big cut. Longest in all the bigs, Avi Garcia. Bet you Daniel Polka could throw around a keg or two. Cincinnati strongman Sean McCarthy. I was saying earlier, McCarthy, we've seen him before. He threw around a washing machine in 2015. Threw it 15 feet 9 inches. Huh. Can you imagine picking up a washing machine and throwing it nearly 16 feet? I mean, goodness gracious.
Is that because it didn't work or what?
No, he was setting the record.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I don't even know how you would come up with the idea and start practicing that. That's an expensive hobby.
The idea starts with a keg. And after the keg is gone, you're thinking, hey, we could probably pick up that washing machine right there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, they got ahead of him in the count with the first pitch slider, and ever since that time, Garrett has not been able to put him away.
Three-two pitch. Got him.
You know, Garrett had told me before the series began, I said, who on this ball club have you faced in the minor leagues? And he immediately brought up Polka and said that he had had good success against him, and Polka goes down swinging on strike 3 right there. That's a big out for the Reds.
And that'll bring up Kevin Smith. So Garrett comes on in the 6th, interesting enough, against the right-handed laden part of the White Sox order, although lefty Polka, but it's mostly 2 switch hitters at the top, and then Polka hits from the left-hand side, and the rest are right-handers.
You know, when you throw as hard as Garrett, have the 1-2 punch of his fastball and his slider. I mean, it really doesn't matter when he's throwing the ball where he wants to, whether you're righty or lefty. So he's not that true slop, you know, bring him in to get him out with a big old roundhouse kind of left-handed short reliever. Especially not with a bullpen that they're so short-armed of big league experienced pitchers. Got a favor right there on a 2-0 count. Smith chased ball 3. Garrett has a tendency to throw fastballs when he is behind in the count, and breaking balls when he's ahead in the count. So he goes 2-0 and throws 2 fastballs. Now the count is even 2-2. He may break out the slider right here.
Michael Lorenzen, right-hander, warming up in the Reds pen. Two-two pitch. Runner will hold at second, and Peraza gets the out.
Now that's how big that strikeout of Daniel Palka was, unable to get that runner to third base. And now 1 out away from stranding the leadoff double.
And the batter's Tim Anderson. Ripped but foul. Look out. One ball and a strike to Tim Anderson. Count will hold it 1-2.
Now Anderson is a much better hitter against left-handed pitching than he is against right-handers. But right now he is in a battle against Garrett. That already made him look bad on one slider down and in. Where they're going to go again. Right down here again.
Lifted to left. Duvall, a long run, and runs out of room. This is the third straight day of Garrett pitching. I believe that's the first time in his career we've seen that. Although he failed to retire a batter in game 1 of this series. 2 hits and an earned run. And a third of an inning last night. Anderson hangs tough.
Yeah, he's fouled off some really good looking sliders that are starting down around the knees and ending around the ankles. Just trying to stay alive.
One-two again. Swing and a miss. Leadoff double, no problem. Stranded right there.
In Minnesota Twins, Nate Orf, a 28-year-old undrafted free agent out of Baylor. 6 years in the minors. He's called up by the Brewers on Monday. His first major league hit, and it's a home run. After he got the dugout, you see he gets a special treatment in there. But wait, it gets better. The players lift him up on their shoulders and bring him out for a curtain call as the Brewers win it 3-2 over the Twins. Nate Orf, a day he will always remember. That is so cool, guys.
Indeed it is, and the Brewers, as Suarez robbed by Sanchez. Brewers continue to lead the National League Central. They came in a game clear of the Cubs. Suarez has hit the ball hard last 2 times up. New pitcher is Bruce Rondon, third pitcher of the night for the White Sox.
They want to take advantage of what the White Sox are offering up right here. Put a couple insurance runs on the board.
Milwaukee now with 51 wins on the season. Now the Reds riding that 6-run 4th inning. And it was the 7th 6-run inning of the season by the Reds, 4th in the last 14 games. Count evens at 2-2 to Winker. Winker drives one the other way. And that ball is at the top of the wall and into second base goes Jesse Winker with a double.
Now he's looking in the dugout knowing that the Reds are going to check it out. The home crowd up there right above where that ball hit, they're circling home run. So we'll take another look and see if he has an opposite field dinger going on right here. Stayed in the ballpark. I don't think it ever hit anything behind that yellow.
Nope. And the Reds aren't even going to ask for a crew chief review here. You can get a crew chief review on possible home run balls. #12th double of the season for Winker. Insurance run at second base. Way out in front again. And Duvall behind in the count 1-2. Cubs beat the Tigers today 5-2. We showed you the Brewers winners 3-2 over the Twins. So it'll stay a 1-game gap between the Brewers and Cubs in the National League Central. Check swing and he fouled it off. Final home game before the All-Star break for the Reds. It is an off day / travel day tomorrow, and then a 3-city test, 3 in Chicago, Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon. Back to interleague play, 3 against the Indians in Cleveland. Off day in St. Louis, and 3 against the Cardinals to close out the so-called first half. And a swing and a miss. And Duvall goes down on strikes.
Well, those are 3 tough places to win for the Reds to finish up the first half of the year.
Places they, of late, have had a lot of trouble winning ball games.
Yeah. Of course, the Cubs right now are just 1 game back of Milwaukee. Milwaukee winning tonight. And of course, the Indians look like they're going to win their division by around 20 games this year. St. Louis is never a friendly place for the Reds.
We talked about the Reds having a 3-man bench coming in as they sent Brandon Dixon out, traded Dylan Floro, called up a couple of relief pitchers, and in the on-deck circle right now, Michael Lorenzen, who was earlier warming up in the bullpen. If we get there, he could hit and then stay in the game and pitch. We'll see. Waker at second base. And a 2-0 count to Peraza. Riano. And he walked him on 4 pitches.
Now, there's a reason why you were strutting around with an earned run average of 8.0. And Bruce Rondon can look at a couple of different things. Number one, he gets hit, but he also gives up a lot of walks. In fact, his walk rate is among the worst in the American League.
And that'll give Lorenzen a chance to hit. Last 5 trips to the plate. What a story. Single, home run, walk, home run, grand slam. And Billy Hamilton has come in to pinch run for Winker at second base. And a little bit different situation, but when Lorenzen hit the grand slam, Hamilton came in to pinch run at third in that day. The big cut.
Well, the word's getting around, obviously, about Michael Lorenzen, and that's why he sees a first pitch slider there instead of get-ahead fastball.
Slugging percentage is pretty good.
Not bad.
Wow. Oh, 1 pitch. Checked his swing, but a called strike. One ball, 2 strikes. Five career home runs as a reliever / pinch hitter. All other active pitchers in Major League Baseball. have 2 in that category. Count evens at 2-2. Long look in by Rondon. Now he brings the 2-2. And it's fouled out of play. Swing and a miss. And the Reds will strand 2. On this Independence Day, USAA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. Two-run shot in the third off of Sal Romano. Daniel Polka had 2 home runs last night. How about one tonight? Solo shot. The Reds came off the mat in the 4th and in a big way. Scooter Gennett, RBI single. 6 runs in the 4th. They sent 10 men to the plate. Winker got in on the act. Peraza, 2 RBI hit as well. And Sal Romano, suicide squeeze. It was a beauty. Red Sox added 1 in the 5th, but we stand at 6-4 heading to the 7th here on Independence Day 2018. Reds fans, come on down to Great American Ballpark on Saturday, August 4th with the Zach Brown Band Down the Rabbit Hole Tour featuring Leon Bridges. Get your tickets today at Reds.com/Zach Brown Band. Michael Lorenzen, after hitting, stays into the game. He's on the mound to pitch, as we speculated. Billy Hamilton stays into the game. He came in to pinch run for Winker. As you look at Lorenzen's numbers, Hamilton's in center. Schebler has moved to right field.
And just in case you were wondering if Michael Lorenzen gets more preparatory pitches to warm up just because he came in after he pinch hit, the answer to that is no.
Past Peraza and a base hit for Adam Engel, his second of the night. And they're going wild in Loveland. As wild as you can get in Loveland.
He gets another one of those, and might close down the bike trail. So a good old backdoor party.
Might be cheering a little bit at Paxton's.
Oh yeah. Right there, the railroad tracks.
Good watering hole. You'll find a dorky announcer there once in a while. And here's Omar Narvaez, who came in defensively in the 6th, which we failed to mention, behind the plate. And batting in the 9 spot here, his first at bat of the night. And the count's 2-0 to Narvaez. Engel's got some speed at first base. 10 steals and 12 attempts. And Lorenzen will try to keep him close. Riano. Needed a strike and got it. Engel scored after singling and reaching second on a wild pitch in the 5th. There goes Engel, and it's fouled out of play. There he goes again, swing and a miss, throw down to second base. Strike them out, throw them out.
Tucker Barnhart has had plenty of practice in this series because the White Sox run and run often. And he just makes a perfect throw. Lorenzen nice and compact to the plate, gives him a chance. And Engel really never does get to the second base bag. Nice double play.
Captain America comes up big. First pitch swinging, Moncada. Raza. And that'll do it for the White Sox here in the 7th. On this Independence Day 2018, we will keep it right here. We're so privileged to honor America before the game got underway with the Star-Spangled Banner. And here we will pause for God Bless America.
At this time, we ask that you please stand, kindly remove your hats, and face the American flag. Major League Baseball, the Reds, and the White Sox salute the men and women of our armed forces, as well as those who serve to protect in our local police and fire departments. At this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome retired Technical Sergeant Felita LaRock as she leads us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
We celebrate America. Over the course of NASA's Apollo missions, 6 United States flags were placed on the moon. 5 remain standing to this day.
What an accomplishment that was in the 60s. the fallen President John F. Kennedy. And America followed through on his vow to send a man to the moon and safely return him to Earth. 6-4 Reds here, bottom of the 7th. And I am to this day a space nerd still. Actually, you could just label me a total nerd. It doesn't have to be space. Top of the order for the Reds here, Schebler, Barnhart, Votto. They would sure like some insurance, and they are facing a new pitcher on the hill for the White Sox, Xavier Cedeno. One of 4 lefties out of the pen for Rick Renteria. Xavier worked an inning last night scoreless. Check swing, appeal down to third, and no, says Eric Cooper, who has had a not as dramatic night here tonight as he did last night.
Well, you're on your way to being a diplomat. He had a bad night last night.
All right. I was trying to be a kind, gentler announcer here on Independence Day, but I'll go with it. It was a bad night. Lifted in the air to left center field. 1 out. As part of the Ohio Lottery postgame concert series, chart-topping country singer Jake Owen will be performing a live concert from the field Saturday, August 11th, and everyone with the ticket to that game will have a chance to enjoy the show from one of country music's hottest acts. Purchase your tickets now at Reds.com. Barnhart 0 for 3 here tonight. And he is now 0 for his last 8 is Tucker, and this followed a season-high 8-game hitting streak. And he's retired here. And that'll bring up Votto. One-0 pitch. 2-0. Strike call. 3-1. Shoots it the other way. Second hit of the game for Votto.
Now, the one thing that makes Votto so dangerous against left-handers is the ability to hit that breaking ball the other way. I mean, he stays back on that pitch as well as anybody in baseball. I mean, the same way that Tony Gwynn did, the same way that Wade Boggs did for such a long time. Now, Jeanette's got a high batting average against left-handers, but he does it with a little different style.
RBI single in the fourth. And came around to score on Jesse Winker's 2 RBI hit. Now a modest 4-game hitting streak for Jeanette. Looped into right. Garcia's got it. A hit, a man left. 7 in the books. 6-4 Reds.
Though the designer of America's first flag remains a mystery, the commonly called Betsy Ross flag features 13 stars representing the original U.S. colonies.
Happy 4th of July. And hope you're having a great one. Michael Lorenzen still on the hill for the Reds, wearing the stars and stripes, mind you, on his sleeve, along with everyone else on the field here over the last 3 days. I get a lot of questions about the appearance of the American flag on the sleeves, and some say, why are they wearing it backwards? It's the way that it's worn in the military, and it basically signifies how you would carry the flag into battle. A pole blowing in the wind.
Exactly. Always want to make it look like it's waving in the wind.
And you're moving forward. Counts 1-2 to Yolmer Sanchez. Talking to those around the White Sox, they say Sanchez is a very likable young man. always joking around and one of those fun-loving guys, sort of like his counterpart, third baseman Eugenio Suarez for the Reds. Sanchez earlier this season, as he strikes out looking, after he was the game's hero, after the game decided to just give himself a Gatorade bath. Didn't wait for his teammates to do it. He just grabbed it and doused himself. And Lorenzen doused him with a called third strike and a beauty.
Now this is where the lineup gets a little bit difficult. Whether you're a left-hander or a right-hander, it really doesn't matter. Abreu, Garcia, and Polka. Three guys that can mash it pretty well.
Jim Riggleman has a lefty and a righty warming up at the pen. Crockett and Hughes. And unless it's an absolute emergency situation, Raisel Iglesias not available tonight. (2-0) to Abreu, and it's 3-0. Don't want to bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Garcia or Polka, if you can avoid it. And ouch. Abreu fouls it off himself again. He did it in game 1 of this series and had to leave the game. Oh. He has a guard on there for a reason. That's basically a little lower in game 1, his left ankle. And was out of the starting lineup yesterday. Pinch hit. Gary Cederstrom will brush off the plate and give him some extra time. (3-1) pitch. Full count. Abreu still gingerly walking around after that cut. And he walked him. And here comes Jim Riggleman. And he will go right to Gary Cederstrom, and this is going to be a double switch. The tying run will come to the plate. And he's going to call on Jared Hughes. And here comes the thoroughbred racing in. Reset the situation on the other side. Ready for action before each and every Reds game here on Fox Sports Ohio, and the next time we'll do it, pregame version at least, will be in Chicago, and it's on Friday, 3-day games against the Cubs. Malley versus Montgomery, Harvey versus Chatwood, and then a tough assignment for Castillo, John Lester, his 11-2 record and 2.25 ERA on Sunday. First time the Reds will make their way to the Windy City. First trip to Wrigley this year. Jared Hughes then to face Avi Garcia. He represents the tying run. Count evens at 1-1.
You know, Hughes has a tendency to kind of tease with that breaking pitch. Alex Blandino took over at second base, but really does his work with that sinking fastball.
Blandino part of the double switch. He's in for Jeanette. He'll be batting in the 9 spot.
And it was Avi Garcia that broke Hughes's long homerless streak. Ended it at 35 1/3 innings when he hit a home run off of a right field shot off of Hughes on Monday. This time it looks like he's not going to let Garcia get his arms out. He's going down and in with that sinker, and that's where it is the most effective. That third base side of home plate. Watch this baby sink.
Yeah, Monday it was a rarity. Jim Riggleman had to go get Jared Hughes just 2/3 of an inning and that home run. Two-two pitch. And he walked him. Now the tying run's aboard. And interesting enough, Avi Garcia walked last night in the 12th. It was his first walk of the season in 125 at-bats. And now he walks here in the 8th.
Hey, you like this so much you want to do it again tonight.
So back-to-back walks. Lorenzen walks Abreu. Hughes walks Garcia, and the dangerous Daniel Palka at the plate.
You're still thinking ground ball. You're still thinking double play if you're Jared Hughes. That's where the bread and butter is.
Strike call. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 11 on the night for Reds pitcher. And some freeze-off. That would be pizza for those in attendance.
That's the spot right there. And Hughes did a very smart thing. He went 0-2 on 2 good pitches down there, and then just went a little bit farther down, a little bit farther away. And now one more hitter to get out of this jam.
And it's pinch hitter Leury Garcia. The switch hitter will test Hughes out from the left-hand side. Up the middle, base hit. They're going to wave around the runner from third. Throw to the plate from Hamilton, and they got him! What a throw by Billy Hamilton. Cuts down Abreu and ends the eighth. Oh, baby Billy. What a throw.
Already rounded third base, but here comes the throw. It is on a line, and a perfect one it is. And boy, is Tucker Barnhart pumped up after this. I mean, that's what catchers live for. Man, that's good baseball.
New pitcher on for the White Sox, Chris Volstad. Crowd still a buzz too in that throw. That's 8 outfield assists now for Hamilton. That ties him for the National League lead. And the guy he's tied with will probably surprise you. It is Schwarber, product of Middletown.
Well, they probably run a lot on him.
Yep. They question whether it could play the outfield, and as you said, they test him, and Schwarber 8 of them as well, along with Hamilton now. One-two to Suarez, and it's 2-2. In the hole and into left field for a base hit. Second hit of the night for Suarez. Billy will get a big ovation as he steps to the plate for the first time. Reds hitting for what they hope is the final time. wasn't even close. I mean, there's no chance of Hamilton getting out of the way.
He almost did, though.
Almost threw it behind him. Yeah, he did.
I mean, that ball was going right at his belt buckle, and Billy almost got out of the way of that thing. Right in the back of the calf.
And there's not much meat on that calf. He
No.
is about as skinny as you will see of a pro athlete.
We always used to say a wrestler came and got his calves.
Reds seeking some insurance runs here. First and second, nobody out. Adam Duvall at the plate. Look out, goodness gracious, ball stack.
Well, a breaking ball that simply slipped out of his hand. See the spin on the pitch?
Yep.
I said something wrong about the rules last night. Jim wanted to clear it up. It reminded me of that with Duvall trying to get out of the way of that pitch. I said that you don't have to try to get out of the way of the pitch. That's not true. It's in the rule book that a batter must try to avoid being hit by the pitch, but umpires don't enforce that. And interesting, I had a conversation with a number of umpires a couple of weeks ago about that, and they tell me that unless a guy's leaning into the pitch, they're going to give the batter the benefit of the doubt, even if he doesn't try to get out of the way, although the rule book says you should try to get out of the way. So I got reminded of that on Twitter and checked it out.
Oh, the Twitter police. They're out in full force. Or the keyboard cowboys, as I like to call them.
Good opportunity right here to take the drama out of the ninth inning if the Reds can put a few runs on the board.
Short right field, and Garcia comes to get it. First out of the inning. Bring up shortstop, Jose Peraza. No one warming up in the Reds pen right now, so this is Jared Hughes' game at the moment. He will get the latter third of the lineup for the White Sox in the ninth. Anderson, Engel, Narvaez. One ball and a strike. One and two. 2-2 pitch. Just off the plate. Waits back and stays alive. And he walked him. Bases loaded for Alex Blandino.
Well, that is 3 walks on the night for Jose Peraza. I mean, it used to be that you wouldn't get 3 walks in a month with Peraza, and that's how much he has improved in his confidence at the plate, his understanding of the strike zone, being able to be a little bit more patient back there. He has really become a really fine offensive player all of a sudden.
And not the situation here, but once he starts walking more, I think if he's an everyday player, you'll see the stolen bases get into the 25 to 30 range a season if he can walk more.
Hope so.
First at bat of the night for Blandino. He was a defensive replacement in the top half of the inning. Two and 0. Reds with the bases loaded. Lead the majors in home runs, RBIs, hits, runs. Chopper. Volstad coming to the plate and bounces it, and the Reds get a run out of it.
Boy, pitchers have a knack for making the easiest plays look very difficult. He never stepped. He had plenty of times. Suarez is going to be out by at least 3 steps. All he's got to do is field it, plant, step, throw. No, decides to field it and then throw off balance, and Narvaez never does have a handle on that ball at all.
And that is a big run. Error on the pitcher, and it's 7-4 Reds. Bases still loaded, 1 out for Scott Schebler. Pretty good look at that one. Fouled it straight back. One and 2 count to Schebler. 2-2. Volstad trying to avoid a big inning, and we saw him part of a big inning on Monday. 2/3 of an inning, 4 earned runs.
Yeah, he was the architect of that inning.
2-2 to Schebler, and he just flailed at it. Fooled him badly, and down goes Schebler, round number 2.
Got a breaking ball. He was a little bit, he looked like he was waiting on it and then completely fooled and tried to hit it the other way and ended up being late on it.
And here comes Rick Renteria on a jog to the mound. Now he'll walk it off, and he will take the ball from Volstad. And a pitching change, 2 outs into the bottom of the 8th. Induction ceremony honoring Adam Dunn, Fred Norman, and Dave Bristol. Plus, first 20,000 fans through the gates will get a Reds cap. It's a good-looking one, presented by Fox Sports Ohio. Get your tickets for as low as $12. For tickets, visit Reds.com. Juan Minaya, the righty, called on by Rick Renteria to face a bases-loaded, 2-out situation.
You can see that Renteria gauges this as maybe a last-ditch effort to try to stay in this ball game.
The batter is Tucker Barnhart, 0 for 4 here tonight. Rips the first pitch, but foul.
For the White Sox, it does not get any easier at all when they leave here from Cincinnati. They'll have no day off, and they've got a 4-game set against the Houston Astros in Houston. Then they'll play St. Louis at home for a couple of games, so they're already 0-3 on the year against the Astros.
I'm sure they're very pleased with this night game.
I'll tell you that, they've had a tough time here against Central Division foes, period.
Yeah.
They're 1-2 against the Cubs. They're 0-4 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're 0-2 against St. Louis. And they're on the verge of going 1-2 against the Reds.
Strike called, and Barnhart none too pleased.
And maybe worst of all for the White Sox, they are 1-8 against the Detroit Tigers.
One-two pitch. Minaya comes in and gets the job done, but the Reds add an insurance run, and off to the 9th we go. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Toyota, for over 30 offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Just over 24 hours to vote to get Scooter Gennett into the All-Star game. And you can do it at Reds.com. You can vote up to 5 times a day. So, before midnight tonight, vote 5 times. And sometime tomorrow, vote at least 5 times. Gennett trying to close in on Ozzie Albies for the starting spot at second base in the All-Star game. 11:59 Eastern time, the voting closes tomorrow night. Business at hand, though, is a 3-run lead given to Jared Hughes here in the 9th. As he will get Tim Anderson, Adam Engel, Omar Narvaez. As the Reds trying to take 2 out of 3 here against the Sox. One pitch. 1-2. Got him. First pitch to Engel is in for a strike. Right at the knees. Good night for the Cincinnati kid. 2 for 3. Saves on the season for Hughes. And let's fly the 2-1 pitch. And it's 2-2. It's trying to complete their 5th straight series of good baseball. Suarez. Long throw and got the speedy Engel. Big league play.
Well, a big league all-star play right here by Suarez. I mean, he is just about as good as you can get at third base. Kind of interesting where it was the lack of defense that really was the downfall of the Reds last night in the 12th inning. It's the exceptional defense they've played tonight.
Very good.
And to put them in a position where they are tonight.
Yep.
Which is 1 out away from nailing this baby down.
The batter is Omar Narvaez. And I don't know where that one missed. Two-0. 2-2 pitch. And Narvaez stays alive. Count holds at 2-2. Peraza. And the Reds take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. They continue to play solid baseball. Winners of 16 of their last 22 games in the first 5 series unbeaten streak since July and August of 2016. 7-4 your final here on 7-4 2018. We'll be back with more in a moment.